Hiya, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges of Blaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
This is Kathy from Music and More Records.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TbT and Ace.
That's us. Welcome. I'm TbT. That guy right over there, that's Ace. It is episode whatever it is. I think it's 105. That's like 105 episodes. 5 episodes past 100 or 105 episodes past 0.
How do you keep track?
Yeah, it's math. Call me a math genius. That's it.
Yeah, but every week you're like, I think it could be episode, I don't know.
Because nobody ever tells me. I have to do the math in my head. I have to rewatch every episode to figure out which one we're on. And then boom, all of a sudden, like tonight, I made it through 104 episodes and I couldn't find any more. So I immediately assumed that this would be 105.
Where's your production assistant?
Don't have one. Probably drinking. Didn't do my makeup. So whatever. Nope. Welcome. If this is your first time joining us, we are live. We are live on the YouTubes. We're live on the Facebooks. If you're joining the chat, join the chat in YouTube or Facebook. It doesn't matter because, I can read them both. So whatever. Our normal peeps are in there right now. Shannon gets the award for being the first one in the chat tonight. So kudos to her. Kathy followed a close second, only to be trailed in third place by our moderator, Natalie, who should have been first, but didn't, and wasn't. So she's going to throw out something about, I was on vacation and I'm car lagged. It's not jet lagged if you didn't take a jet. What? Yeah, she went to like North Kakalaki or something. Two things here. Number one, didn't invite us. And number two, didn't invite us. Oh, she's eating tacos. Okay, that's a great excuse.
Where is North Kakalaki?
Just above South Kakalaki.
I've never been there.
Yeah. Who else is in there right now? Shannon, of course, a B-Ret. I don't know who that is. Welcome, new guy. Mama TBT's there. And of course, I've already said Natalie and Shannon. Apparently, my wife has decided to just say, screw the show. I'm not going to watch it tonight. So
apparently Kathy had celebrities in her shop just now.
I should probably read her stuff. I'm pretty sure Scary Spice and her boyfriend just came in here. English accent and everything. Spitting image of Mel B.
Was it a real English accent?
What is a Scary Spice?
Isn't that a Spice Girl?
I didn't think one of them was named Scary, but hey, yes. I'm all for it.
She was scary. Did you not see her?
Like legit scary?
She's kind of scary.
Oh. Natalie's in. Natalie 2.0. We have moderator Natalie, and then we have hello Natalie. So hello Natalie. Scary Spice?
Yes.
I gotta look her up. I gotta look her up right now.
There was Posh, Scary, and I don't know the rest. Because one's married to David Beckham.
Yeah, well, Scary Spice is, she's married to, or was married to Stephen or Stefan Belafonte. I don't know if that's any relation to Harry, but it's still a Belafonte.
I think it was a thing when the Spice Girls were big to like date a Spice Girl, and then you married them.
And then when you ran out of Spice,
right? When that trend was over, now you're stuck with a Spice Girl you can't get rid of.
But do you still consider him a Spice Girl?
Well, yeah. It's still Spice. It's just kind of outdated.
Okay, Natalie just said Scary Posh, Sporty, and Mel B. Wrong, because Mel B was Scary Spice. Get your facts straight. Even I know that.
he was looking at.
Grief. Well, Kathy, I think the big question is, did you get a picture? Like, cameras or something?
Did you point out to them that they look like the celebrities they say they are?
Yeah. You really look like you're a Spice Girl.
And she's like, what?
and then, I don't know what that means. My name is Mel B. What would her last name be? Like Spice? Like Mel B. Spice?
Like Belafonte.
Mel B? Mel Belafonte? I think it's because her last name's Brown.
Ah.
Yeah. And nobody wants to be called Brown Spice.
No.
So, well, Kathy, I hope you did have her in there, and I really do hope you got pictures. Nope, too intimidated.
Real spices.
I wanted to sing and dance to Tell Me What You Want, what you really, really want. All right. Oh, goodness gracious.
I wanted to be named like nutmeg, cinnamon, that kind of sugar.
But there's one I would not want.
What?
Pumpkin.
It's that time of the year, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's going to be 98 degrees here tomorrow. And that is not time for the spice of pumpkins.
It is time for all the fall fun.
No, it's impossible.
It's not summer. I mean, it's not fall yet. It's still summer, technically. Like you said, yes, they are all Old Spice now.
Old Spice.
Which I like Old Spice. It's a nice scent.
Yeah, if you're old.
Stop.
Okay.
That's a classic.
Yeah, so's Axe.
No, now Axe is much more modern for the youth.
Well, yeah, but it depends on what you mean by old.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's going to be like 88,000 degrees on Thursday. It's still summertime. I'm not going to point out the fact that this weekend we will drop into the 40s. I'm not even going to mention that.
Well,
that's Cold Spice.
I had time today to use the pool, but I didn't know if it would be cool, cold, freezing. I didn't know what it would be, so I didn't chance it. This week, the pool will probably be out. Depending.
Yeah, Thursday, man. Call out of work and swim all day. That's what I did Sunday.
Did you actually get in your pool?
I was in it all day long on Sunday.
I don't believe you. Because you're the only person I know that bought a pool and never used it.
Yeah, because you know the problems I was having.
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't even get out to pee.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
What? I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's just water.
Yeah. Whatever. I did get asked that, though.
Someone asked you if you peed in your pool?
Well, yeah, it was the wife.
Oh.
She said, you haven't got out to pee. And I'm like, no. She's like, did you pee in the pool? I'm like, am I 5? That's beside the point. But I was like, no, I didn't pee in a pool. So I got up at one point and she goes, where are you going? I said, I'm going to go pee because I got to pee now. So I went to the back patio and I peed off the patio. I'm a dude. We can do that. So
yes.
Yeah.
The world is your urinal.
Right. It's my house. Daggone it. Dogs go out and do it. Why can't I? Arf.
That's right. And where you live, there's no one near you.
No. Oh, look, Viper decided to show up. Here's the thing I want to say about the comment he just made towards our moderator. He said that she must be mad at him because he didn't get a reminder from her. If I can remind you, Mr. Viper, if you subscribe, you'll get the notification. So, yeah.
It helps us.
Right? But he's all about himself. Anyway, I'm a happy guy.
Good.
Not only did I get to see you on Friday,
Right.
I got to see your whole family minus one.
Yeah, my son didn't come. He didn't get a ticket. Didn't want to go.
Right.
Or maybe he did want to go, but just didn't want to burden himself with a ticket. I don't know, but
sure.
We went to the Sammy Hagar concert, Best of All Worlds. We've been talking about this for weeks. Yes, and I didn't wear the shirt. I apologize.
Yeah, a little disappointed.
But next week I'll wear the shirt, and it won't matter next week. But
no.
But so I had the wife, 2 daughters, me, and 16,000 other friends in 110-degree weather.
Yes, stormy weather.
Eventually.
Yeah,
and we'll get to that because that was just, to me, it's ridiculous. But regardless, if you want, we'll kick off with this, I guess. But Sammy was great. And I know you think the same that I do. But what were your thoughts on Loverboy? Because they opened.
I tell you what, we debated on whether or not to get to our seats in time for Loverboy. Because we were enjoying just, walking around and just, it's a cool place. If you've never been to Ruoff up in Noblesville, Indiana, go. It's just an outdoor amphitheater type place. And, they got all kinds of stands and all this stuff. But, as the night wears on, you get more and more people. So it came to a point where it's like, yeah, let's just go in. So we ended up going in right before Loverboy started. His age and that voice is still going. And I thought that Loverboy killed it.
Yes. Mike Reno, lead singer for Loverboy, he still has it. He still sounds great. That was the theme of the night was these singers sound great, but cool thing about Loverboy is they're all original except for the bass player.
Right.
The original bass player passed away several years ago, and this guy's been in the band ever since.
Exactly.
So mostly, but they sound amazing. And what's cool about that band is that you don't know how many hits they have until you sit down at a concert and you're like, oh, I know that one. I know that one. And they got a great gig. They come out, they play 8 or 9 songs. They give it all they got. They sound great and they leave. That's a great gig.
And admittedly, that was me because I couldn't remember everything that Loverboy had, and I, on the way up there, it's almost a 2-hour jaunt for us to get up there. I was jamming, the playlist that we had for Sammy. I was jamming that, and I didn't even think to throw on any Loverboy. But like you said, when you start hearing things, you're like, oh, I know that one. Oh, I know that one. Well, apparently so did the crowd.
Right.
Because the crowd was just jamming right along.
Yes, and once again, Ruoff was almost full when Loverboy started.
Yeah.
I don't think the lawn wasn't quite to capacity yet.
No.
But they were getting there.
Yeah.
It's impressive when people show up early.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's good for that opening band too, because, they don't want to go out there and perform for nobody or whoever's in the first, 6 rows. But yeah, it was filling up and the crowd was active, very active from the get-go because it was hot. The sun was shining. It was ridiculous. Loverboy ended up doing 8 songs. It's 8-song list or set, I should say. Kicking it off with Notorious. And then it was just like one right after another. One of the things that I noticed was they literally just went back to back to back to back to back to back. It was just song after song after song. And I get it. I understand because, we'll talk about it in a minute. But when Sammy gets up there, that's normally been a 21 song set. 21 songs. That's like 2 hours of constant playing where a lot of times you'll get, maybe an hour and a half with an intermission with, them taking breaks to not do a whole lot. But starting off with Notorious and they went into Lucky Ones, loving every minute of it. The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Take Me to the Top, Hot Girls in Love, Turn Me Loose. And then, of course, they had to finish the night with Working for the Weekend. And I think the place erupted for that.
Right, because everyone knows that song. It's Friday night.
Right.
You've already got a couple beers in, and yeah, that's what you want. You're working for the weekend. You know, and that's not even all the hits. I mean, they still left a few on the table. I mean,
well, they left like all of their ballads on the table.
Right, right.
You know, all the ones that they wrote for, you know, Top Gun and Footloose and whatever.
Right, right. I think that set list was a little different when I saw them last year with Foreigner, but basically the same. Basically.
20.
Oh. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to say it was maybe about a 20-minute delay. I won't say delay, but a 20-minute wait.
Changeover.
Yeah, as they changed over from Loverboy to, I want to just call it Van Halen or Van Hagar or something. But
I kept calling it that for weeks. Same as I did with Tom Kiefer. I kept calling it Cinderella.
Right.
Girls, we're going to see Cinderella. Don't forget, we're going to see Cinderella. We're not. We're seeing Tom Kiefer.
Yeah.
But,
and by the way, I went up and talked to your daughters when you and the wife had stepped away. I walked up there to talk to them. Number one, I handed your daughter some stickers. But I also asked them, I said, so what'd you guys think of Tom Kiefer? And they were talking about how much they loved it and enjoyed it and all that. So that was good to hear from that generation, you know?
My oldest daughter told me a couple of times that never in her life did she think she would tell people that she went to a Faster Pussycat concert. Never thought those words would come out of her mouth. But
well, never did I think we'd start off a podcast talking about Scary Spice. So, I mean, hey,
you never know.
Yeah. So 20 some minutes later, at about 10 minutes after 8, Sammy Hagar and Joe Satriani and Michael Anthony, and I always say his last name wrong. Aronoff.
It's Arnoff, I think.
Yeah, Aronoff, Kenny.
Yes.
They showed up. And
yes, substituting for Jason Bonham, who is out of the country dealing with his sick mother.
Yeah. The beginning of the show, the video montage that's shown, like I was intrigued, man. That was just awesome. All this old footage from whatever network they could pull footage from, NBC, CBS, MTV. I'm sure there was some VH1 in there somewhere, but all of this footage and probably stuff that we've never seen before, you know, kind of showing the history of Sammy Hagar in his time with, you know, Van Halen and
right.
you know, up and coming and all that. What a way to start it off.
It was a cool video package. It really was. You were getting to see like news reports. You were getting to see some of the concert footage, you know, some of the videos, just overlaid with a little voiceover.
Yeah, like a montage of tunes and Sammy himself, right. Stuff like that.
Right, and that was really, really cool. And then, man, when he hit the stage and the flames come up for Good Enough.
Fire.
Yeah, people were ready. They were ready to rock.
Right when you heard it, hello, baby, yeah. It was like, oh, it's off.
You know, and I watched when he did that, and I watched it back on a recording I've got of it, and he did that with his microphone. It sounded just like it did on the record. And I'm
backing track.
You think so?
No, not at all.
Not at all. I don't think Sammy's into backing tracks.
No, it was not. That was a complete joke. There was no backing track there. But yeah, it was
great.
Spot on.
Yeah, it was great. And Good Enough is a great opener. And I've always thought this, and maybe you'll tell me I'm wrong, but I think it's the most classic Van Halen sounding song that the Van Hagar version ever did, because of the way the drums are, the drum beats, the backing vocals, and a lot of that. It sounds like it could have come out of Women and Children First or something like that to me.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, because there's tons of other songs that you could pull from that could have been the first one, but the way this set list is, the way it builds, it's you start off here and then you get bigger and bigger. And then really, in my opinion, you get a couple songs in there that maybe some people aren't really, really familiar with.
Right.
Like the Seventh Seal. Seventh Seal is one of my favorite songs from Van Halen.
Yes, and a great deep track.
And that got played, at the show, and you could see how everybody's up, they're dancing for the song before that. And then when that one comes on, they all kind of like, well, what's this? And then after it was over, oh yeah, we're back going again. But I love the fact that they threw that in there.
Yes, I like it when they'll throw at least a couple of deep tracks in for the fans that are really in tune with the albums and they know the albums track by track.
Yeah,
and that's one off of Balance, and that's the only one they played off Balance, isn't it?
I believe it is. So.
And they had singles off that record. Not, and that wasn't one of them.
No,
that wasn't one of them.
But it's one of the deeper, darker songs that they've done.
Right, and it had that cool video montage behind it with the good and evil discussing whatever the hell they're discussing, but it didn't
Playing
look good
chess
because someone was on a cross at the end of it.
Yeah, somebody didn't do too well. So yeah, kicking it off with Good Enough, and then I've said it before. After they played the second song, I was ready to leave. Just because they played my favorite song. Number 2, the second song that they played was Pound Cake. And there's the drill.
Yep.
There it is. Did it sound exactly like Eddie? No. Was it still cool to hear it? Absolutely. And
that begs what we were just talking about before we went on was the deal with Satriani being there. You and I both know the work he put in to get these guitar parts down. But one of the things Sammy has talked about was giving Satriani enough room to breathe to satch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was some variations here and there, little additions, but I think for the most part he had the guitar tone down. The effects were down pretty good, and he had mostly had the solos down almost verbatim, I think, a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
With of course some variations, little slick here and there, little lick here and there.
A little Satriani, and there's what it was. But he did good. After Pound Cake, we got Run Around, followed by There's Only One Way to Rock, and then Judgment Day. That was the 5th song, which to me I think is another one that a little bit of a deep cut there. But here's the omen in that. After that 5th track, the show was stopped.
This is funny because I didn't know it was that early.
Yeah.
I thought we were a little deeper into the set.
No. 5th song, Judgment Day. There's something to that.
Right.
Some official dude walks out on the stage, talks to Sammy, and
unpopular man of the night was that.
Oh, guy. Yeah, because he got even more unpopular. But the show stopped for, I thought, was 25 minutes.
Yeah, roughly.
I've heard reports that it was 40 minutes and all this and that, and I'm like, whatever. But it stopped, and it was, if you're on the grass, evacuate. I turned around, nobody evacuated.
No, this was due to inclement weather.
Yeah.
And if you did look in the distance, you could see that some dark clouds, but they were off in the distance, right? They were concerned about lightning.
Yeah.
Mainly they're concerned about severe weather. But and in all fairness, we did get lightning in the area. It was in the area, but no one left. I don't think anyone left.
Yeah, I don't think
we
so.
walked down to the concession area where you were talking about, where all the cool booths are.
Yeah.
And hung out there for a little bit. And nothing but people going back and forth, buying more food and buying more drinks. I think it's a ruse. I think it's a ruse to get more money.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We saw someone that came with you, Mrs. TBT.
Yeah.
And we waved at her. She sort of acted like she knew us.
She said she waved when I talked to her, when I called her out. If you're watching the live, you can see this is what was put up on the screen in Ruoff. The severe weather alert, please seek shelter in the venue. Okay, keep in mind it's an open venue with the exception of a roof. But seek shelter or calmly proceed to your vehicle. Right.
So, how much safer is a car than sitting on the lawn?
A lot safer because you're on rubber wheels.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The whole thing is silly to me.
So
but again, we had a sprinkle of rain. And some nice winds.
We had some great lightning.
And some cool lightning.
Yeah.
But we had, and the winds were great because they cooled us off because it was 110. You got to remember, it was hot as hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was it, 30 minutes?
Well, no, this was, they said they will post an update on their social media channels every 30 minutes as we continue to monitor the weather. This is just, screen grabs that I took when I was there waiting for something to happen. But,
I got a phone call from them.
Oh, see, I opted out of the phone calls and just wanted the text messages.
I didn't know I had a choice. All I know is I got a phone call.
Yeah, logged into it.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool, like a phone call from Ruoff telling me to go back to my seat.
Yeah, so whatever it was, 20, 30, 40 minutes later, we finally get this. You could have just put the band back out there, made some noise, which they did a lot of. But it said, good news, show will continue. Updated event info is posted. Nobody cares about the updated event info because you just put a big ass green sign up that says, good news, the show's going to continue. So nobody cares about that.
So they gave it, another few minutes for the people that didn't go to their cars to come back from their cars. And, then got ready to start the show again.
Right. And finally it did. And it was funny because one of the things I paid attention to was Sammy. He did not like the fact that it had to stop. 5 songs. He made it a point. He was like, hey, we played 2 hours, so we plan on doing it. Boom. They go back, get their drinks, just waiting for this to pass.
Right. And he stayed out and talked to us for a little bit, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before they kicked us all out, and all that. They couldn't play, but he sat and told stories on stage for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. He's like, I'll stay and I'll talk. So that's how cool Sammy is.
Right. So they come back out, start jamming, and I guess there was some deal struck. There's a hard limit on when you have to cut off concerts up in Noblesville. I don't know if it's a county ordinance, whatever it is, but you have to stop at a certain time because of, sound, whatever. Sammy said, I've gotten permission. We're going to, play the entire 2-hour show and I'll pay the fine if we get fined. Good. I'm looking forward to it. Give me that 2-hour show because we've only had like 30 minutes.
Right. Now think about this. What effect does that break have on the musicians who have warmed up already? Now they're 5 songs in, and Sammy sounds amazing, right? His voice is right in tune where it needs to be. And then he's got a break.
Yeah.
For like 40 minutes. I mean, what do you do during that break to keep yourself going? You just do a bunch of warm-ups or gargles or gargle salt water or...
Yeah. Juggle.
Juggle?
Yeah. So they pop back out and immediately into Panama, which is good, but I mean, there you go. You've just had a break and now you're going to sing Panama. That's not a low key song. I mean, that's high energy. That's ready to go. The crowd's energized. Then we break into 5150. Let me just put it this way. they played 5 and had a break, and now they're jumping into, at a minimum, 13 continuous songs. 13. That is what most bands will play in a show.
That headline. Yes, that headline.
That headline. 12 to 13, 8 to 10 maybe. If they've got the hits because of everything else. I'm just going to run through these, I guess, and stop me when there's one you want to talk about. But coming back out, they started with Panama, then they went to 5150. Very funny that they then played Summer Nights, which was great because that couldn't have been, any more better than playing Judgment Day and then getting stopped. A unique perspective on Ain't Talking About Love, because Sammy essentially kind of left the stage.
Right.
And Michael Anthony took the lead and is singing this song.
Yep. Yes, and it works out because Michael is still from the old Van Halen band, original member of that old Van Halen band. And a lot of that stuff Sammy doesn't want to sing just because he wasn't a part of it.
Right.
And there's old school fans that don't want him singing it. He sang Panama and did a great job.
Yeah.
But there's people that, man, them old Van Halen fans get offended sometimes when he sings the old stuff. But I don't.
No, if they're going to be offended, don't show up.
They were there, but they were probably like, thankfully someone from the old band sang it. No, he did a good job. Michael Anthony did a really good job with it.
And after he did that, where am I at? Then we got Top of the World, Best of Both Worlds. And then Joe Satriani was introduced, and he played Satch Boogie, which is, I think, off of Surfing with the Alien.
Surfing with the Alien, that's a solo deal with him.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're not familiar with Joe Satriani, he's a guitar virtuoso.
Right. He is someone who has risen to the level of one of the top guitarists in the world. He's noted for giving lessons and teaching Kirk Hammett how to play guitar of Metallica. Steve Vai is another student that's notable. So this guy's no slouch.
Right.
People take lessons off him. But what I liked about this was instead of getting a guitar solo where people might check out, we got an instrumental that included everyone but Sammy.
Exactly.
So it is, and people still were on their feet watching. So that was neat.
I was one of them because I'm just mesmerized watching Joe Satriani play. Whether he's playing the Van Halen stuff or his own, you could see, I noticed the difference. I don't know if anybody else did, but like when he's playing his thing, he probably could have just closed his eyes and just did it all and whatever. He's playing that Van Halen stuff. He's concentrating. He doesn't want to mess up, of course, and he's focused, but he could have played his own stuff in his sleep. And you could to me, it almost like that comfort level. For at least one song, it was like, okay, here's my thing.
Yeah.
Eating, Natalie's tacos while he's sitting there playing. I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, yeah.
He moved around the stage a lot. He interacted with Michael Anthony. It was definitely, his moment. And like you said, it freed him up. It was relaxing for him and easy. Because then they go into the Seventh Seal after that. Which is
loved it.
That's a whole different thing.
Absolutely.
And that's a song with a different guitar tone, and he nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
They followed that up with Right Now, which was good. Kudos to their keyboard player. I didn't catch his name, but he's
Thinkle Whistle or something.
Yeah, Finn Thinkle Whistle. He's from down under, and I don't mean Alabama.
No, you mean where women glow and men blunder.
Yes, California. So yeah, he's from Australia. Did a great job. He was doing some backing vocals as well, and he killed it. It was killer. Why Can't This Be Love followed that. And then
The Moment of the Night for me.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you can explain this one.
Well, Sammy moves up to the drum riser. The scene behind him shifts to a blue sky and clouds and stuff. It's real serene looking. And he goes into Eagles Fly, which is from his solo record, I Never Said Goodbye. That song is just so uplifting for me. So good. And here's what I loved. Okay, Sammy sounded great all night, right? But there's a big note in Eagles Fly that I thought, is he going to bail on that? Is he not going to?
Right.
He nailed it. He nailed it. And it was so cool to hear that. Because he could have bailed it, not done it. Had Michael Anthony do it, like he did that a couple times. Michael Anthony would hit a high note for him. But no, he did it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, nailed it, which I was shocked. But I was right there with you saying, I wonder if he's going to hit it. I wonder if he's going to attempt it. Because there were some where he just laid low. Yeah. I get it. Especially when you're on song 16 of the night.
And you're 76 years old. We failed to mention that.
Well, and I was going to mention that after the fact, but yeah. So after Eagles Fly, that is when all hell broke loose. So that was the 16th song. And Homeboy from 11 songs ago comes back out. And as soon as he steps on stage, it is just booed. I've never heard anybody booed worse.
I've never heard anyone booed at a concert in my life. And this guy comes out, and I'm like, and I look at my kids and my wife, and I said, here's that guy again.
Yeah, we're screwed.
I even booed him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he comes out, and he is speaking to Sammy. And we all know what they're saying because we look in the distance, and there's some more lightning, and there's a little over here, and here we go again. So that leaves us with about 3 to 4 songs, well, actually a few more than that, but Sammy said, heck with it.
Well,
they're going to cut it off, right?
Well,
okay, go ahead.
Initially, after he got done talking to the dude, I'll use my spray bottle here. I'll use my microphone. He's got it right here. He's listening to the dude, and then he just stops and he shakes his head and lets out the biggest F-bomb I would think I would ever hear from Sammy Hagar. And as soon as he did that, it's like everybody knew what that meant. And it was, the show's over. They're making us leave. But as you were getting into, he said, screw it. Where's my guitar?
Yes, he asked how many times? Twice.
Yeah.
Where's my guitar? Bring it out to me. And, the guitar tech brings out his guitar, and he breaks into a blistering version of I Can't Drive 55.
Yeah.
And
dedicated to Indianapolis and everybody that is from Indiana that knows about the Indianapolis 500.
Right. And how no one can drive on 465 without doing 110. But
we'll get to that.
Right. But that song for me is a bit pedestrian these days because I've heard it so much. But hearing it this way with that intensity, it was just so killer. It might have been the best song of the night. And that's just about where we ended because they had to get kicked off stage again.
Yeah.
Right.
However,
they were reluctant.
Yeah, it was almost like, I don't want to say pulling teeth, but I think he was just pressing the limit. See what he could get away with.
And we were going to shut the power off.
Well, they might as well have turned the power off because the last thing here was all a cappella.
Right.
There's no instruments.
Him messing around with Michael Anthony.
Yeah.
He just starts over singing Cabo Wabo with him. Which was so fucking cool. And did you not hear how clear the harmonies were on that?
Yeah.
Like,
I want to hear some of those other songs a cappella, nothing else, just those two voices.
Just those two guys. And it would have sounded, I would have listened to that all night. God, it was good. It was good. And reluctantly, they leave the stage after singing a few bars of Cabo Wabo. Now, we got 18 songs, right? Which is a lot. So no real complaints, but we got gypped out of the little medley they do of Bigfoot, Space Station Number 5, and Jump. They end with When It's Love off OU 812.
Well, I think they usually end with Cabo Wabo. The next night, I don't remember where they played. The next night they ended with Cabo Wabo, and I'm thinking that may have been because of us.
Yes.
They were like, right. Oh, wait, that's pretty good. We should do that. So where did they go? Maryland Heights, is that Montana or Missouri?
Hell,
I don't know. But that was the next night, and they ended with Cabo.
Right. They've been ending the whole shtick with When It's Love.
Yeah.
Which, to me, was a perfect ender for the night because you have all this goodwill and this fellowship, and everyone's just feeling good and singing along to this wonderful song. And it's a great way to end a show.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that.
No.
We did get something special. We got that little a cappella piece of Cabo Wabo.
Yeah, but so did those jerks in Missouri the next night.
Well, yeah, but it was ours first.
We got it first.
So was there one other one we got gypped on? Heavy metal.
Yeah, heavy metal.
Yep, heavy metal. So, I mean, we could complain, but honestly.
Well, there's another one too.
Oh, yeah?
Mas Tequila.
Yes, we didn't get Mas Tequila.
Yeah. And the way that crowd was, we needed that.
No kidding. No kidding. So that's like 5 songs. I mean, depending on what you think of that medley, piece. And the funny thing is, because Jump was included in that medley. Hey, I love Bigfoot. That's a Chickenfoot song.
Yeah.
Space Station Number 5 was the only Montrose song they were playing.
Right.
Yeah. And then Jump was another classic Van Halen. But what I like about the way Sammy does it is that he actually sings a melody to it and not just does that little talky rap thing that Roth likes to do. Yeah, love the Roth version. I'm not knocking it. But this is the difference of what you got when they hired Sammy. You got a singer who can sing these songs, and he sings his ass off. He hates Jump, hates that song, but he sings his ass off for it. And I miss it.
So I don't know if it was, I know when Sammy announced it, I don't know if it was official, but he talked about there being 16,000 people there.
Right.
According to what we had at Creed, that was 22 to 24,000.
Right.
I don't know about you, but there were a lot of people at Sammy.
Yes.
I thought they were the same.
I didn't look too much at the crowd behind me, but that lawn looked packed. It looked packed when I looked back there. So he might have been shorting himself a little bit.
I'm just a little bit. I'm going to see if I can look it up.
But overall, it was still just such a special night. And the buildup for this lived up to all of the potential, all the hype. Just a lot of things were fulfilled on that show, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
If they were back tomorrow,
mm-hmm.
I would go again.
Yes, I would. I wanted it to keep going. It was so good.
Yeah, it was just a party atmosphere.
Right, like you're in the backyard with a band of people that you kind of know.
Exactly.
It's what it felt like a backyard party.
I think I made mention to the wife, how, there's different bands, different, pop band, rap, whatever it is that you listen to, country artists, that you listen to in the summertime. Kenny Chesney, perfect country artist for the summer. Then there's,
and that's kind of the thing.
And the stuff he sings, it's a lot, Margaritaville-ish, if you will. But for me, it's Van Halen. It's Van Hagar. It's all of that. It's just good, just summery rock.
Right.
And
And you're right. There are bands that lend themselves to that.
yeah, and what a way to essentially end the summer tour. At least, at least from my vantage point. I've got another show scheduled, I think, for November, but the last one in the summer was the Sammy Hagar one. And I okay, I'm fine with that. What a way to bring it to a close.
Exactly. I was talking to the wife after this, thinking, I don't know of anyone I want to see right now. I can't think of not one person. Other than the next night was Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie.
Sure.
I might have went to that if they weren't back to back because I'm old, but I didn't have to. And I can't think of one right now. I'm good. I'm good for a while.
Yeah, it was like, okay, it's kind of like the icing on the cake. That's where you get your limit. You're like, all right, Creed's been done. Kiefer, we've seen the ones that we wanted to see this year.
Yes, we not just ones that we kind of picked up because we wanted to go to a concert.
Yeah,
these were people we wanted to go to. I saw Priest twice. I wanted to see that. Creed. I wanted to see that. We were at I think the two biggest shows of the summer, which was Creed and.
What did you just do?
All I'm doing is using hand gestures. That's all I'm doing. I'm
just going to leave them on. I'm not even going to tell you how to get rid of that because there's it's entertaining every damn episode.
But Creed and the Van Hagar tour were the two biggest tours of the summer, I think.
Yeah.
And we were at both of them, and they were both special.
Right.
In different ways. Creed had this uplifting factor. Plus the fact that you hadn't seen them in so long. And Wells Van Hagar, Van Halen, whatever is similar because the only person playing those songs is Sammy. So when Sammy quits performing, those songs may never get played again.
Right.
And I mean, there'll always be someone wanting to play older Van Halen, I'm sure, but for someone to break out some of that Sammy Hagar stuff, they may not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Which is sad, but because like we said, Sammy's 76, soon to be 77, and sounded like he was 25. It was incredible.
To me, this goes right along, and everybody says, oh, people are just going to say that because it was a good show. We did the same thing with Creed. Seeing that and hearing Scott Stapp and, listening to Three Doors Down and how much even Faster Pussycat, the way they sound now compared to, 15, 20 years ago, number one, there's maturity. Number two, there's sobriety. And number three, I don't know what number three is, but whatever. There's at least two things that just, set these guys off. And it's like, man, these guys sound fantastic. And we may not get this chance again, for everything that he's been through. Like we mentioned, I think last week, Tom Kiefer sounded good for everything his voice and his vocal cords have been through. He sounds good. I think 2024, summer of 2024 is going to be very hard to beat when it comes to concerts.
Oh, I agree. And that's not even the ones we didn't go to. There was a lot we didn't go to that were good. I guarantee were good shows.
Sure.
But yeah, the ones we went to, going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
And I think that's also makes the specialness of what we saw is because we're not going to see it all the time. Creed is not going to tour all the time. Sammy isn't going to tour all the time. He does shows, but he doesn't do tours like he just did with this.
Right.
All the time. And not picking on anyone, but we've talked about bands that come around too often. When has Def Leppard stopped?
Yeah.
Took a break. They just announced another leg of this tour, I believe, just yesterday. Journey. I love Journey, but when do they stop? They never do. Styx is another one. Foreigner is another one. And eventually crowds are going to stop coming. I think you're going to just like I'll pass this time. It's too easy to pass because they'll be back around next year.
And what's the rumor going around right now that next year we're going to have Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue
again?
Right. That's kind of where that's what I'm getting at. You know, do I want to see Guns N' Roses? Yeah, possibly. Depends on the lineup.
Yeah.
Do I want to see Motley Crue? Not really.
Not really.
You know, I want to remember the last time I seen him because Vince still sounded decent.
Right.
I'm not going to get into that whole thing again, but I mean, you get the point when you start seeing these bands, it's like, okay, you know, how far can we push the envelope? You know, when it comes to these bands and still sounding good. December, Brown County Music Center, Cheap Trick.
Yes.
And I'm stupidly tempted.
Yes, we talked about that.
To get tickets and go. You know, it's been 30, I don't know how many years. It's been a long time since I got to, I'm going to pull that picture up someday, since I got to hang with Robin Zander and, you know, chill with them backstage.
Did you ever tell that story?
Nope. I don't know if I did or not. It's been 105 episodes.
Yeah, that's a great story. But
yeah,
Cheap Trick's a bit of a unicorn in the sense that they tour all the time too, but they don't seem to get old. I've seen them 2 or 3 times, and they're always good.
Yeah,
they're always.
They'll stop when they play someplace that is like a ghost town.
Stop.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to beat Viper to it because he'd pull that out.
Right.
So we've almost spent the entire time talking about this Van Halen tour. I don't apologize because it was fantastic. I call it the Van Halen tour. Van Hagar, Sammy, Joe, whatever you want to call it. Fantastic. There are some other things that we were going to mention, and we have to because I already put it in the caption for tonight's show. And if I don't, then it's false advertisement. Yeah, and we won't get sponsored by Liquid Death canned water. I was just trying to get it because, dude. So there's one during the intermission, the storm break or whatever. The wife had to go pee, not in the pool. She had to go pee, and she's like, "Hey, do you want me to grab you anything?" I was like, "You know what? I'd really like a water because it was 115 degrees, whatever." She comes back with a can, and it Liquid Death, and I'm like, "I'm driving home. I can't drink this." And I read it, and it says water straight from the anus of the devil or something like that. And I'm like, this is water? Crack it open.
It's a bit of a misnomer.
Yeah, I didn't get quite the buzz off of it that I thought I was going to get, but, whatever. It was good. They should sponsor us. But the Dead Daisies, they are releasing the next single from their upcoming album entitled Light 'Em Up. The latest single is called I Want to Be Your Bitch. And our friend John Corabi, distinctive vocals in this.
Oh, yeah.
And you pointed out a perfect way to describe it. Very Alice Cooperish.
Very much so.
Yeah.
That song sounds straight out of $1 Billion Babies or something.
Right.
And even Corabi's vocals are very similar to Alice's on that one. It's really cool to hear.
Yeah.
It's really, this record has been, all 3 singles have been great.
Yeah.
They've
and
all been.
I can't wait for Friday.
Is that when it comes out, the 6th?
Yeah. Yep. The 6th is when it's going to be released. This is the 3rd single, as you pointed out. It's going to be, if the 3 of them, especially this one here, it was just released, if it's, indicative of the rest of it, we're definitely in for a treat, as the kids say. A treat.
As the kids say. Even if you don't know the Dead Daisies, this is a good one to start with. It's new. It's going to sound fresh, and it's going to rock your face off. It's so heavy.
Yeah. It's good. I'm impressed. A few episodes ago, probably 8, 9, or 10, everybody was aware of Oz Fox having to go over brain surgery again. That procedure led to him being forced to sit out Stryper's Spring 2024 To Hell with the Amps acoustic tour. And luckily for him, 3 days ago, I don't know, last week sometime, I think it was Thursday, Oz was on Facebook Live with his wife and stated that he's getting things together because he's going to go rehearse. So he just wanted to let everybody know that he's planning to be out with the rest of Stryper on the band's 40th anniversary tour, which starts here early this month. So that's fantastic to hear. He's finished his chemo, finished his radiation, and thinks, I guess, is cleared, whatever. But
finished last Monday, it says.
Yeah. Getting back out on the road, which if you've never seen Stryper, or even if you have, you know how important, his melodies are and his guitar work to that band. And other than that, his health obviously is important, but that was some fantastic news for Stryper fans and for Oz Fox himself. So pretty stoked about that.
And that's another band that's just busy. If it's not a record, they're doing a tour, or Michael Sweet's putting out a record, squeezing all they can out of the time they have, which that too is a good thing.
Yeah, that's one of the bands though that I can easily say I don't get tired of.
Right,
especially live, because it's always intense. I wish I would have got the chance to see the acoustic tour, but I held out because I was waiting for Oz to come back. Not really. I just didn't get up there. I can, if I want to drive 5 hours and go see him up in Shipshewana.
Yes, I love saying that, Shipshewana.
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's kind of cool. What was the last thing we're supposed to talk about? James Hetfield.
Right. Being a cowboy.
Being a cowboy. He's playing a lawman in the Western thriller The Thicket. According to James, he's grateful that he got asked to do it. He was on a recent episode of The Metallica Report, which is another podcast that loves us. Now they do. James Hetfield spoke about his acting role in this upcoming dark Western thriller, again called The Thicket. Hetfield is quoted as saying, Peter Dinklage, which, little guy?
The
wee man, little man, contacted James through management saying, hey, I got a part for you that's it's something we're putting together. I thought about you, and that's it. And James was like, okay, cool. He's not into acting. According to James, he says, I act enough on stage like projecting. For us on stage, projecting big, it's almost more like Broadway. When you're in a movie, you just do a little thing, and that's, whoa, that's enough. But he's stoked. He's pretty excited. He didn't have to do anything. Just doesn't have to train, doesn't have to like get in character and lose a bunch of weight or put a bunch on. He just had to not shave and be himself. So he was thankful. Yeah. That's all he had to do. That's all he does. Am I under arrest, lawman? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's like his line is, yeah. That's it.
It's iconic. It's iconic.
It is. I mean, even all the remember the Napster movies?
No.
No. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to find those, and I'm gonna have to post it because that's all that they had James do. Or no, he would talk and Napster bad. Yeah. But that's it. That's all he would do, and he would talk about that.
This movie is cool that in the fact that we would just want to see it because he's in it. Because he's in it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, are you going to be the one to tell James that you're not going to go see his movie? No. See, you can do a no too.
I'm scared already.
Yeah. Our time here is up. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 105, I think is what I said. I appreciate it. Don't forget, if you're watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're watching it in Facebook, hit that like button. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You always make it enjoyable for us. Could you please get your thing going? Like put your thumbs up or whatever it was. Did you get balloons or whatever?
I'm trying. See if he'll do it, but it's not.
It's just not working. Oh, there was one more thing.